August 7, 2010. Dear Mayor and Council members of the City of Rushford, I wish to address you in light of a letter that was read out loud at your previous City Council meeting. And as you set precedents in reading a letter aloud, I assume that this will be as well. The letter writer addresses her concerns over a growing list of public projects and refers to a sense of looming increases to our property taxes in order to support these projects. One of the biggest frustrations that I have found as I've served on local boards is the ability to get factual information to the people in a way that will be absorbed and understood. Certainly you must feel this yourselves as you sit on this council. As the current chair of the Rushford Public Library Board of Trustees, I feel the need to once again address some of the misinformation that the previous letter writer refers to in her letter. First of all, she expresses a thought that we should use existing buildings. There is no existing building that is appropriate. Mr. Funch, you mean in reference to the library? Thank you. There is no existing building that is appropriate to use as a library. I understand the frustration of our citizens to look around and see empty buildings in our town. It frustrates me as well. But just because a building is empty does not mean it is appropriate for a library. The most popular comment I personally hear is, why don't you just move into the old clinic building? It is as if we've never thought of this or investigated this. But of course we have. Most people are surprised to learn that the old clinic building is the same size as the current library building. I am not aware of any other empty building in town that meets the size requirements as recommended by two different independent professional space needs assessors. I often wonder, if the old Dreamin' Horses building still stood empty, would people recommend it as an empty building that the library should be looked at moving into? The second issue I wish to address is the cost. Just as it is my understanding that the new trails that the city wishes to develop would be done so with grant money and private money, so too the library intends to build with private money and grant money, costing the local taxpayers a total of $0 in increased taxes. It was hoped that the partnership with City Hall would be an added savings to our local taxpayers by sharing space and utilities. Depending on when this letter is read in the meeting, we will already have discussed this merger, or we will be discussing it in a few minutes. I agree with the previous letter writer that a clear presentation of all the proposed projects with details of costs and sources of funding would be a great benefit to all Rushford citizens, though I fear that there would still be some who would look at it and doubt its veracity. One thing I note in the previous letter that is most interesting is that the writer clearly states, the sense is one of looming increases to our property taxes in order to support a growing list of public projects. Please note the words, a sense of. People are predicting doom and gloom, forecasting fear. And of course, with the sense of increased taxes, people are going to be opposed to spending. But you as city leaders can do a lot to help dispel these fears by stating the facts. Not everyone will listen, some will continue to only see the potential worst, but we must try to look at the positives while managing the realities carefully. I agree with the previous letter writer that it's fine to have ambition and a good vision. Let's just have a reasonable pace to the future. But I think your pace is quite modest at this time. Sincerely, Dan Munson, Rushford, Minnesota.